Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Carolina Albernas, CEO of the Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us this afternoon for this Brazil-Canada Mining Talks, Service Solutions for the Brazilian Mining Sector. So I'd like to thank our sponsor companies and partners for the trust and support. Before I invite our chairman today to start this session, I would like to broadcast a quick message from one of our partners, CoreCase, who produces cases for the storage of drilling core samples in 100% recycled plastic.
CoreCase has been consolidated in the mining segment as an important supplier of geology drilling supplies. We are available in the main players of the mining market, from the extraction at the drilling station, going through transportation, ensuring the safety of geological data, up to the storage of drilling evidences. We are in accordance with high quality, environmental, and economic standards. Our goal is to add value to the production process of the main companies of natural resources extraction. Our cases, manufactured with full efficiency and high-quality supplies, are made with 100% recycled and recyclable materials. They are light, ergonomic, and their production is inserted under the ISO 9001 standard, ensuring the full commitment of our team of employees. We invest in technology and innovation, with the objective of making products that are each time more adequate to the sector's needs. To do so, we count on a laboratory, enabling the performance of quality analysis and fully respecting the environment. Our factory is strategically located near the main ports, facilitating its logistics on the way to our customers. Get to know our product portfolio on the website and learn about CoreCase in our social medias. CoreCase, Sustainable Core Box.
Without further ado, I'd like to invite Roberto Xavier, our chairman for today, to join us here, and so we can start the discussions. Roberto.
Thank you, Carolina. Nice to see you again today. Well, welcome everyone to the panel Service Solutions for the Brazilian Mining Sector, which is part of the Brazil-Canada Mining Talk session in the 15th edition of the Brazil-Canada at PDAC 2021. Well, companies that supply services or equipment to the mineral exploration and mining sectors in Brazil are generally found during the Brazil PDAC at their respective pavilions or showcases, or even at the Brazil Pavilion. However, this year it's going to be different. We have decided to give a broader exposure to the suppliers at the Brazil PDAC 2021 by reserving a space in which they can present their products and services. So in this whole context, I think that this panel can be considered very innovative, so to speak. So the panel is going to be divided into two blocks. And in the first one, we're going to see Geosol, ALS, and GE21 presenting their portfolio of services. And then in the second block, which is going to be on machinery infrastructure, we're going to see 4 companies presenting applied solutions for the Brazilian mining sector. This is going to be actually, the second block is going to be moderated by ABIMAC. ABIMAC is the Brazilian Machinery Builders Association. I think it's noteworthy saying that it's the first time that ABIMAC participates at PDAC. So welcome aboard. With no further ado, I think that I'm going to call the first presentation, which is going to be delivered by Geosol, by Dalber Oliveira, Market and Communication at Geosol. Dalber, the show is all yours.
My name is Thiago Silman. I am in charge of the commercial department of Geosol. Well, to start, I will give you a short brief about Geosol and what we are doing here in Brazil. Our company today is a holding group. We call it Geosol Participações. It is composed of 8 companies providing drilling-related services for mining and oil and gas industry. We are focused on geological drilling, geochemical analysis, and mineral beneficiation tests, all applied to prospecting and mineral exploration. Our history started back in the 50s, in the early 50s, where the mining engineer Victor Decache founded Geosol in 1953 in South Brazil for coal exploration. We were the first Brazilian drilling company here. In the 60s, we created a lab called GeoLab, where we were analyzing the samples that we were collecting for our clients, and the drill core as well. In the 70s, we moved our headquarters to Belo Horizonte, up in southeast Brazil, to do the drilling job for the recent iron ore discoveries here in the place so-called Quadrilátero Ferrífero, which Belo Horizonte is located in the heart of this quadrilateral. Our activities increased a lot with the iron ore explorations, and up to now we are proud to be one of the most important drilling company for the iron ore drilling industry here in the world. In the 80s, we consolidated as a national drilling company, and we started operations in West Africa, in Uruguay, in Paraguay as well. In the 90s, we set up a base in North Brazil to work with our clients across the Carajás range, where as soon as the Carajás started to produce iron ore, and also associated minerals on the same range, in the same region. We still have the subsidiary there. About 30% of our work is based in North Brazil. On the early 2000s, we acquired a NARCI company from Peru. We started a joint venture in the lab to make sure that our lab is a completely different business. So we started this lab with SGS. We started a bentonite mine and lots of operation in West Africa. We managed to have operations in Angola, in Liberia, in Guinea, and it was quite a busy moment for our industry in the boom of iron ore. We're drilling for the most important mining companies in the world, in Brazil and in West Africa. In the 2010s, we entered in the oil and gas industry with Slim Drilling, which is a company specialized in do slim holes for oil and gas exploration. We created this holding company, which we called Geosol Participações, once again, and many prospects in Angola. In the year 2020s, we entered heavily in the oil and gas industry. We launched our agribusiness laboratory, and we created a shared services center, where is basically for a holding group, we can provide human resources management, procurement management, health and safety management, and financial services as well, accounting services, all centralized in one single center, one single administration center. That helped a lot with the synergy of the holding, and also to reduce costs and to be more efficient in providing those services, especially in procurement, where we gained a lot of scale on our purchases. This is a quick map of the places where we were operating in Brazil and in West Africa. Those are the companies of the group. I will talk about each one of these companies right now. So we have Geosol participações. We have our foundation, which has the name of our founder, Victor Dekesh. I'm sorry. And then we have the most important companies of the holding. Geosol, and Geosol owns 50% of the lab, SGS Geosol. Rede, which is specialized in geotechnical drilling. Geosedna, or RC Business. Slim Drilling, or oil and gas exploration company. Localog is our real estate company, which owns all the buildings where we are operating. GeoBit is our bit factory, and we also produce our own drill rig machines. Innovi, which is a company specialized in renting heavy equipment to support drilling operations. And New Ventures, oil and gas, geotech exploration, and mineral engineering. Our business is a drilling contractor providing solutions in mineral engineering. Our mission is to promote the research of reliable and sustainable economic utilization for natural resources. Our vision is to stand as benchmark, diversify the portfolio, and develop and establish innovations. Core values: respect to life, social, environmental sustainability and responsibility, against human capital development, productivity focused at economical results, creativity and innovation, engagement with the company's history, brand and strength, transparency and trust in the relations. Our policy is to ensure customer satisfaction, prioritizing quality, safety, and achieving the results expected. We focus on eliminate hazard as well and mitigate risk to guarantee the physical integrity of its employees and the third parties involved in operations, to encourage the employee participation in the execution and improvement of the managing process, preserve the environment and from any impact and seek the sustainability of its activities, and to ensure that the employees understand and exercise and comply with Geosol ethics of code. I'm sorry. Comply with all due legal requirements, social responsibility, and engagement with the surrounding communities, permanent technological evolutions and technical engaging of the workforce, protect the corporate culture, ensure the continuous improvement of the integrated management system. So let's talk about drilling. Here we listed all the drilling services that we were performing during the past 67 years. And I will talk about each one of the type of the machines that we have short ahead, and hopefully we have a better overview of our business, the quality of the drilling services that we are provide here in South America. Okay, we have hydraulic drill rigs mounted on wheel trailers, and this is a standard setup of a Geosol drill pad. We have bigger rigs, truck mounted, and we always use this kind of containers. We have an office containers and another facility. It's like an office container to do the drilling reports and any other office job that we need here. Eventually, we even have internet on these offices. We have a lighting tower. This is a pretty much standard of our drill pads here. That's what our clients expect to see. Clean and free of hazards. Rigs on trucks. We have this type of rigs for air core, where we do the drilling without any kind of fluid. We only use compressed air to recover bauxite samples. truck rigs for water well exploration, rubber track mounted drill rigs, underground and modular drill rigs operating on the surface for places with environmental restrictions, underground drill rigs, heli portable rigs for remote areas as well, rigs developed by Geosol, 100% remote controlled, as you see in the pictures. RC drill rigs run by Geosebna. This is the facilities of our lab, SGS Geosol, closer to Belo Horizonte's airport, Confins. This is our geotechnical drilling company, Rede, or Sling Drilling Company, where we recover core to explore oil and gas operation as well. Oil and gas again. This is our real estate company for base our most important buildings that we have here in Belo Horizonte. Our bit factory, GeoBit, and our heavy equipment rental company, Inove. Thanks very much for your attention. Hope you enjoyed. And you have my contacts there for any further questions you might have. Thank you very much and hope to see you soon.
Thank you very much, Dalbert, and thanks for showing to the mineral exploration mining community what Geosol has to offer. Thank you very much. Well, let's continue with the show and move on to the next presentation, which is going to be delivered by ALS, Analytical and Technical Services for the Exploration and Mining Industry, and this is going to be delivered by Bianca Matos, Business Development Manager at the company. Bianca, step up the stage.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bianca. I'm responsible for the business development area of ALS in Brazil. And I'm here today to share with you a little bit about ALS and about the solutions the technical solutions we have to support the mining sector in Brazil. Well, I expect my screen will be shared soon. Yeah, here we go. Well, ALS is a global leader in providing laboratory testing, but also inspection, certification, and verification solutions. Our mission is to provide our clients high quality, innovative, professional testing services that will help them to make informed decisions. Well, talking about core values, if we take 3 of these values of ALS, which are exceeding client expectations, doing it better, hard work, and continuous improvement, we will see that they are connected with the nature of the services we offer, because we encourage innovation and embrace new technologies to always provide to the market in the good solutions and to exceed the expectations and to be always in the front of the new technologies development. Talking about honest and integrity, which is another value of us. Actually, it's very interesting because if you work with a lab, if you work with a laboratory, you need to trust it, right? So we need to be reliable, and it's ALS responsibility to be an independent, impartial authority in the testing process. We are very committed to the highest professional ethics and laboratory practice. Well, ALS provides a great list of services nowadays. Geochemistry is one of them, but differently from other companies, ALS started with mining, and mining is still a very strong focus in the company. So geochemistry is one of the most important lines, and the idea is to keep being. We are present globally We started operating in Australia, and so since there we came to all the parts of the world. We are present in more than 65 countries nowadays, more than 350 locations. We are more than 14,000 employees, and our experience in the marketing is of more than 40 years. Specifically talking about geochemistry, our business is we have nowadays 70 laboratories around the world, and we use a hub and spoke model strategy, which means our analytical labs are located one per continent, and our sample preparation labs, which are those in blue here, they are located everywhere. So the clients send deliver samples at our sample preps, and we do the logistic to the analytical ones. The idea with that is that ALS can standardize the procedures. We have a global QA/QC team that their responsibility is to have all these labs working in the same manner and with the same procedures in the very standardized way. So this is the reason why one ALS method is the same everywhere around the world. No other company could do it because it's easier when you have just 6 analytical labs to control. And we also have a huge capability available to our clients with that model. For example, Lima in Peru, which is the lab for all the Latin America, Lima can process more than 2 million samples per year. And our clients in Brazil are able to count with this huge capacity if they need to. Talking specifically about Brazil, we are here for 203 years already. You can see a extensive list of units ALS Red has in Brazil. Brazil for ALS is a very interesting country because this is one of the world's largest economies. And Brazil has a geological potential that it's huge. And interesting, Brazil is recovering pretty fast from the pandemic crisis we are facing. This was something very interesting for ALS and showed ALS how big Brazil is in Latin America. If we compare with other countries, we are recovering very, very fast. So these advantages of Brazil points Brazil nowadays of one of the country's most potentials for one of the most potentials of growing for ALS. And I'm very proud to announce here for the first time officially that our Parauapebas sample preparation lab is about to start operating. We will be active there up to the end of March. I mean, to the end of this month now. So our para clients will count with ALS locally too. Well, why choose ALS as your geochemistry lab? Why ALS, right? Well, we have globally standardized assays, methods, and also sample preparation protocols, as I told you. We have automatized systems. Our LIMS, the LIMS ALS uses is a very it's an honor project on our development. It's the GEMS. It's very strong. ALS invested too much on that. And those online systems and procedures allows ALS to process more than 2 million samples per year at the high quality the market knows. We are always improving geochemical methods to achieve lower detection limits, and we can support the projects with other solutions as well, like drill core management and also mine site services. And at the end, we also have other technologies like hyperspectral mineralogy. The idea of ALS is helping the geologists to achieve the most they can with the resources they have, to optimize the resources and to make informed decisions in the field. So it goes beyond the geochemistry, right? When we talk about a mine site lab, we are talking about having an ALS lab in your project, customized to your project, but it's an ALS lab there. It's a small ALS lab, and this lab is connected with the ALS network of labs, and it's controlled and it's audited by our QA/QC, our global QA/QC as well. So yeah, it's an ALS lab there. Talking about detection limits, those are just two examples here. Our schedule of service of this year has many other ones, but like an example of improving detection limits, you can see that ALS is able to quantify gold, for example, with a very low detection limits. We are talking about 0.02 ppbs. And the many other multi-elements methods are with very good detection limits are also available. We have many digital solutions to our clients. A WebTree API was one of the last ones. We developed that at the end of last year. We are talking about having a bridge between ALS system and your database and our client's database. We are talking about not having a person receiving results by email and sending that to the database. We are talking about do all this process automatically. It's always possible to submit samples to the lab without sending emails, without printing submissions forms. You can do everything in our system. It's possible to submit that electronically. Our clients can count with also with our WebTree system in a mobile way in an ALS geochemistry app. It's a free app. It's available at App Store and also Google Play. The idea is to have in your hands your results, and you can follow up. You can track your samples in a very fast, in a very light and easy way. And at the end, talking about the new technologies that goes beyond geochemistry, here we have hyperspectral mineralogy. We have basically two solutions. TerraSpec is a sampling approach. We can do that in the crush samples. We have this technology available at our Belo Horizonte lab. And we have TerraCore, which is a high resolution approach, is a complete core scanning that provides a mineral map. TerraCore is the unique company in the world that can interpret the spectrums in the lower part of the infrared spectrum. I mean, in the thermal, the long term, the long wavelength. Besides, of course, the visible and also the short term. So it's very interesting because you can detect a lot of minerals that you couldn't if you didn't have this technology, right? So yeah, I think it's that we could talk about many more solutions. And if you would like to know a little bit more about ALS, just let me know. Here are the contacts. I'm also available at those emails here too. And yeah, that's it for now. Thank you very much for your presence, for your attendance, and thank you very much to Adim for the opportunity as well. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, Bianca, the pleasure is all ours. Thank you very much for sharing with us this vast array of analytical and technical services made available by ALS worldwide and mainly to Brazil. Thank you very much. And we can now move to the last talk, at least of this block, which is going to be given by GE21. And the responsible will be Bernardo Viana, CEO at GE21. Well, welcome aboard.
Hello, my name is Bernardo. I'm a geologist. I'm the CEO and director for GE21 Group. Okay. We are a Brazilian company independent specialized in consulting and service in mineral service. We start as GE21 in 2015, okay? But our team works together over 40 years in the other companies like GeoExplore, Consultoria e Serviços, and Coffee Mining. When Coffee decide to leave Brazil, we keep the same team and the same staff and the same structure and start to work as GE21, okay? We have a big team with a lot of disciplines like geoscientists, geologists, geographers. We have mining process and metallurgical engineers. We have a part of our company related to geotechnologies. Okay, we develop some systems and service mainly for big companies and governments here in Brazil. In our group, we have a team. The main part of the team, the major team, is work with mineral consulting, but we have a virtual reality and geotechnologies group that works with mining, but with other industry too. Okay. We have G21, our team. We have a large experience in G21, in coffee, in GeoExplore, in other companies, and we develop projects in a lot of countries, mainly in Latin America, in Africa, and we have a big knowledge of minerals and metals and commodities around the Brazil. We have projects developing almost 100% of the states of Brazil. We know how the big mineral zones in Brazil, like Aero Padrão, Carajás, Bahia State, and north of Mato Grosso, and others. We have, in mining, we have over 50% professionals, as I said, geologists, mine and metallurgical engineers, civil engineers, exploration technicians, GIS data analysts, and we have a team focusing develop some specific solutions and softwares. We have a strong team of geologists and mine engineers, competent persons and qualified persons. We develop and sign and audit projects under JORC and 43101 compliance in over 15 years. We have a lot of examples done, and we are currently signing some important reports for juniors and major companies in Brazil. Recently, we developed a lot of projects mainly in gold and copper. It's booming here in Brazil. There's a lot of projects under the development. Main of that is related to resource and mineral resource and mineral reserves estimation and due diligence. Part of them is not specific for the company, but is for a bank or for a financing or something. We have important projects developed in other commodities and minerals like nickel, bauxite, hard earth. It's growing a lot in central part of Brazil. Phosphate, we have a team very strong in phosphate understanding. We developed some vanadium and lithium, like Sigma. Sigma is a big mining company here in Brazil, developed some big lithium projects where I worked with them for 3-4 years. And we have some projects developing graphite, manganese, coal, and zinc lead. So our team, as we have more than 30-40 years of experience in Brazil, we know a lot the geology of Brazil, and we develop a lot of projects in different minerals in Brazil. As I said, our mineral consulting team works from the project generation. We have a team focusing in field work, exploration work, geological and structural mapping, sampling collection, target generation. Okay. We have some here in our also have some geophysics and applied geologists focusing develop some remote sensing targeting. We have a strong team of geological modeling resource estimation. Here we have a strong base. We work with several different softwares like Leapfrog, Surpat, Datamine, Isatis, and so on. Then we have an engineering team, develop a lot of scoping studies, PEA, pre-feasibility and feasibility studies with different commodities. We have a senior and master team with more than 40-45 years of experience, focus only in geological opinion and technical audits for specific projects. And we run some economic studies too. So our range of services in mining consult covers most of the entire mining cycle. We start from beginning at the end of the mining projects. Our expertise, if you're thinking in mining services, in geotechnology services and virtual reality services, we work as an integrated team. We have some specialists in each science, in each discipline, but we still develop a lot of integrate projects. We have a geological and geoscientist team focusing in develop some serves in mining. We have a strong team develop some spatial analysis, spatial artificial intelligence projects. We have big data under develop. We have some scrapping projects. Most part of them relate to develop some undefined some targets, some integrate some big data room integration and analysis. And we have a team that put this together in the virtual reality as a digital model and scenario to see, to analyze, to prove, to visualize, to have an integrate analysis about the project. We don't do this only by us. We have a strong partnerships here in Brazil and outside. We have a long-term partnership with BGS, mainly related to technical collaboration in developing an application for virtual reality and artificial reality for geoscience here in Brazil and overseas. We are part of the Dassault system. We don't sell softwares. We help Dassault to develop new tools, new technologies, and supporting Dassault in implementation of their big systems here in Brazil. We have a partnership with Mairo Geoscience, mostly related to GoCAD and geophysics analysis. We developed some Headwave. Headwave is a sensor-based mineral sorting technology based in Austria. We developed some consulting and projects here in Brazil. And in VR, we work together with Virtalis. It's used to be a UK company. Nowadays is a German group that develops the software that we use for virtual reality. Here in Brazil, for mining vessels, we have a strong and senior and structured team that can support the investors in exploration phase, project generation, greenfield or brownfield, geological mapping, anomaly recognition, geological opinions, and so on. We inside our company, we are able to run all the economic and technical audits and evaluations and studies. We are specialized here in Brazil to technical reports with mineral resource and reserve certifications and estimation certification, mainly under JOR code and 43101. We have some projects developed on the SEC 1302. We in-house, we have team to develop all the technical studies from the geological opinion up to feasibility studies. And we put this here in our team. And nowadays we are building or develop some team related to geotechnical services only to support this feasibility and feasibility studies. We are specialists in digital transformation. We have some projects mainly related to other industries, not mining, that we are enabling technologies for process transformation like virtual reality, augmented reality, reality capture. We are running some very important projects here for value in this point. We develop some big geodatas. We put together all the information available to apply some artificial intelligence and geospatial intelligence to analyze and interpret and generate some targets. In-house, we have some solutions developed by us related to virtual reality, virtual design and review of the projects, simulations. We have some digital twins models developed for a lot of clients here, specifically for some clients. We developed some methodology to data integration, okay, and real capture with drones, and so we have our methodology, our tools, and our equipments. And we, in the last 2 or 3 years, we are running a lot of big data and machine learning with artificial intelligence for geoinformation to understand the spatial tools. This is only an example, but a model that we use to develop with our clients is let's say, is a digital mine, okay, is a virtual reality mine that we can put together in the same project, the same scale, and the same base, all the information from the field. We can go to the field and collect some point clouds, some interpretations, GIS, some geological and geospatial and structural informations, put together in the client database in SAP or the corporative system that they have, and you can offer this model and this technology to interaction, to simulation, to collaboration, and immersion scenario and system to help analyze and to understand the project and their information. We have this is only on some clients that we have in the last 2 or 3 years. We work a lot with major and junior companies. Okay, we don't have a specific preference between them. We work with the same methodology, with the same quality, and with the same people and team for major and junior companies. And based on our expertise, Brazil is underexplored. I think everybody understands, have the same understanding about that. And we have great mineral potential for new projects, develop all the ideas of projects, for big projects like we are seeing at the north of Mato Grosso. We have a lot of porphyry and big polymetallic potential and targets under development. And we are pushing to attract some opportunities to investors. Okay, you are all welcome to invest in Brazil. Many thanks. If you have some questions, me and my partners, Mario and Porfirio, we are here to answer you. We'll be happy to support you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernardo, for having shown this amazing range of services offered to the mineral exploration and mining sector in Brazil. In fact, you guys are all over Brazil, and above all, you guys are covering a robust number of commodities. Thank you very much. Well, I think that I need Carolina's help here because I see no Q&A in the pipeline for our guests here. So I assume that I have to go on and make the introduction of the next block. Am I correct, Carolina?
Yes, let's start with let's bring the panel. Let's start with Rodrigo and the machinery discussion.
Yeah, okay. So let's move to the second block, which is going to be machinery infrastructure applied solutions for the Brazilian mining sector. And this is going to be conducted by Rodrigo Franceschini, and he's the president of the Mining and Cement Committee at ABIMAQ. Rodrigo, well, step up on the stage. Now it's your turn to take the wheel and run the show. I'm going to be just an spectator from now on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, good evening for someone that today, now it's evening. Well, my name is Rodrigo Franceschini, and I'm speaking on behalf of ABIMAQ, the Brazilian Machinery Builders Association. I'm very happy because we have now an opportunity to say that Brazil is not only a good mineral country, it's not only plays a very important role on the global mining industry, but Brazil also have a very strong supply chain to support the mining industry, the mining activity. On special, I'm talking about machinery and technical solutions for the mining industry. So today we're gonna make a short presentation about ABIMAQ. And also, we're going to show you some 4 presentations about companies that are using state-of-the-art technology on their developments for the mining industry. So I'm going to share the presentation now. Okay, I assume that everybody's being able to see my presentation. Okay, so about ABIMAQ. ABIMAQ was founded in 1931, so it's about 80 years old association. We support more than 8,000 companies in Brazil. The revenues of the machinery sector, of the companies that we support, are around $30 billion per year as an average. And we also generate around 300,000 jobs, most of them with high qualification, high education, and high salaries. The targets of ABIMAQ are support the associates and strengthening the Brazilian industry as a whole, acting in the political and economic levels, promoting trade and international cooperation, and of course, enhancing technology development and human capacitation. Some figures about Brazil and our machinery production. Well, everybody knows Brazil is one of the largest economies in the world in terms of GDP. And Brazil is also one of the major equipment and machinery producers in the world. We have the 10th position on that. And another interesting fact is that Brazil not only produces machinery for your internal market, but also exports around 40% of its production. So here you can find the numbers of exportation of machinery. And on the right side, you can see the main destinations of our machineries and equipment. So you can see that US is an important customer for us, Argentina, and then the other figures are spread around the whole world. ABIMAQ is subdivided in 39 sectorial chambers. Each chamber is focused in one specific market or segment of the industry. We have a specific chamber for cement and mining, which is, I am the president of this chamber, and we congregate around 80 to 100 companies focused on mining business. So here they are. Most of them are very important players. We can see Brazilian companies, multinational companies, small companies, medium companies, big companies, and the ones that are highlighted here, Haber & Bocker, Senco, Siemens, and Steinert, will be presenting to you some of their technologies in a couple of minutes. So, besides our sectorial chamber of cement and mining, we also have a metallurgy and mining council involving other players outside of ABIMAQ to discuss the mining in Brazil. We have the IPD-MAC to stimulate R&D activities, innovation, IoT, and new concepts for design and of equipment and technology. We have a solid waste group to discuss energy from waste and how to dispose and give a better destination of waste and industrial residues. And we also have the DataMAC. DataMAC is the most extensive data bank of equipment producers in Brazil, and it serves not only the final customer, our associates, but the whole supply chain in Brazil. And of course, if someone from outside wants to come to Brazil and understand the environment, we can help them. And okay, we are talking about also sustainability. It's also an important drive in ABIMAQ. And not only discussing the ESG issues, but also how to use technology and value aggregation over the whole supply chain on the mining industry, in a specific case, to have sustainability on the whole supply chain. That's very important for us. Here you can see some partnerships we have for trade shows. And also, we have a very good relationship with some mining companies in Brazil. Here are some of them. Of course, there are much more. And our institutional partners, so you can see the IBRAM, you can see the ABPM, you can see ADIMB, and you can see the CNI, which are all of them have some focus on the mining industry in Brazil. Now, I think we can go for our other speakers. So we're going to have Haber & Bocker with Thiago Bosso talking about pulse condition monitoring. We'll have João Barreto from Senco talking about the decommissioning and repoping of tailing dams. We'll have Mr. Bern from Siemens talking about stockyard management. And we'll have Priscilla Esteves from Steiner talking about the application of sensor-based sorting in pilot plants in Latin America. So I'm happy to introduce you Thiago Bosso. I think you can start our presentations. And later, after all the presentations, we'll have some conversation with all together. And if you want to make questions, you can do by the chat, or you can send by email to us. Thank you very much. Thiago, it's your turn.
Hello everyone, my name is Thiago, and I'll be talking to you about our new technology for monitoring vibrating equipment on field. I have prepared this short presentation, which right now. So, Havern Boker Niagara is a very well-known company for its vibrating screens, which are largely applied in the mining industry all over the world. As you can see, there are several types of it, which are applicable to different industries, materials, and so on. However, we have a lot more to offer you. So I would like to begin with by showing all the products of our portfolio, which are gathered in our ProCheck way of approaching our customers. So we can provide you with process equipment where the vibrating screens I have already mentioned are situated, screening media, which is a very important part of vibrating screens, original spare parts to help you extend the life of your equipment, refurbishment and upgrades for vibrating screens and crushers, services to help you and support you on field, complete plants and systems where turnkey solutions are necessary, process engineering to help you increase the capacity and efficiency of your plant. And last but not least, we have a diagnostic area to help our customers monitor the health and efficiency of their equipment. All of these solutions are applicable to all the industries we attend, which are fertilizers and salt, cement and building materials, minerals and aggregates, and mining. All those solutions are applicable to all of our industries. And the solution I would like to focus more during this presentation is one from the diagnostic area, which is the pulse condition monitoring. And it was just released at the half of last year. So, as I have already mentioned, pulse condition monitoring is used to monitor the efficiency and health of vibrating equipment on field. But not only that, our development went far beyond the regular aspects of a condition monitoring system. So it has the ability to predict and inform you with anticipation when and where a maintenance may be required at the equipment that is being monitored. Its functioning is very, very simple. There are two types of sensors. We call them body sensors and bearing sensors. So they periodically measure all needed information to properly monitor the equipment. That information is collected by the receptor, which also transmitted to our AWS-based cloud. There at that cloud, all calculations and algorithms are performed to display everything you need to know in an easy to understand way at our web application. Among the differentials we believe we have, I would like to list the main ones, which are the fact that we are a vibrating screen specialist company monitoring vibrating screens, the integrated monitoring that we provide. So we are monitoring the body and the bearings of the equipment, and the large database of over 10,000 vibration analyses collected over the past 20 years, which was extremely important to develop our accurate machine learning algorithms. We believe that pulse condition monitoring will certainly help our customers optimize the use of their human, material, and financial resources, not to mention the improvement it will bring to the conditions and quality of work of process and maintenance personnel. And that by demanding less physical interaction with the vibrating screens, decreasing the consumption of spare parts, increasing production and efficiency, and a very important point, providing accurate and reliable information remotely, avoiding the exposition of people to the aggressive environments where the vibrating screens are generally applied or installed at. I would like to finish this presentation by showing you a real case. So it is a quick example of a success actuation of our condition monitoring system. These are the triaxial spectrums of one of the bearings of a vibrating screen that is currently being monitored with our product. So as you can see, there is a lot of noise on those three curves, which clearly indicates a bearing problem. So due to that noise, our customers started receiving some alarms, automatic generated by our web application. Those alarms were advising our customer to replace that bearing on the next 1 or 2 maintenance stops that he had already scheduled. One point here is very important to mention because our system is a predictive one. So the emails that were generated and sent, they were warnings and not critical alarms demanding the vibrating screen to be shut down immediately. And that's the good thing about a predictive tool, because we gave the ability to our customer to prepare himself for that replacement on another opportunity. Okay. Well, after the replacement, we can see there is a huge difference on the same spectrums, right? They are way clearer here. So the difference is very sensitive, and that indicates a normal behavior of a brand new bearing in operation. Some days later, so some days after the replacement, that replaced bearing was analyzed, and the damages were clearly identified or easily identified on its inner race. So that demonstrates the bearing couldn't operate for a long time, for more time, I'm sorry. So it really had to be replaced. Maybe it could operate for another 2 weeks or maybe at most a month. So that's a very good thing, because it proves boost condition monitoring can definitely make the operation of any vibrating screen safer and more reliable. So thank you very much for your attention. Stay safe and have a great day.
Thank you very much. Well, we can go to the next speaker, Mr. João Barreto.
Good afternoon. My name is João Barreto. I am Director of Technology at Senco, and I have the pleasure to show you a presentation about a special development for a large agitator of a pulping tank in the process of decommission of tailing down. In order to have the best solution, we not use only analytical calculation, but also CFD simulations. Senco is a Brazilian company with more than 65 years, providing solutions and equipments for many industries, with a very special expertise in mixing and agitation. Here is our portfolio of products, and for many other informations, see our website. Well, Brazil is a huge mining mineral country, and over the last decades, 100 of tailing dams were implemented. In order to avoid accidents, our government are pushing all the mining companies to eliminate most of these dumps. Many of these dumps are huge, with more than 50 million cubic meters of tailing dumps and storage during the last decades. The solids are not homogeneous, not stable, and with a complex rheology and size distribution. To do this, it's necessary to drain the tailing and disposing solids under safe conditions and reusing the water for the process. One of the common solutions to drain tailing is to have a dredge inside the lagoon, pumping the slurry to a large tank with a volume between 3,000 to 6,000 cubic meters. The first challenge is not to add more water in the process, so the tailing slurry must have a much solid concentration as possible. Because of this, the design of the repulping tank goes to a large diameter and a small cylindrical height, under to the keeper pressure on the ground of the acceptable number. In other words, we have agitation challenging is to guarantee homogeneity with maximum dead volume in a very complex rheology. The low consumption is another important goal to meet complex CAPEX and OPEX restriction and the green and ASG philosophy. A traditional agitator, the approach goes to a common large impeller diameter, and this kind of agitator has a very disadvantage, like high power consumption, a small pumping rate, and the strong loads to be supported by the shaft and the drive. Narrow blades do not work well positioned close to the bottom. And also, it's not the best solution for high concentration solids in the slurry. With our customer, we define some premises. The agitator have to guarantee a dead volume lower than 20%. The operator is to work with a high solid concentration and design to a designing factor of 20%. Pursue a reduction on the energy consumption of 25% is another important goal. Repulping the slurry with maximum homogeneity in order to guarantee a perfect pipeline operation. To reach these premises, we use our R&D department using CFD considering multiphasic parameters, also our lab test, and our especially strong experience supplying real agitators for many pipelining stations. Developing this kind of agitator, we use field informations that we could find in a project that we have for these applications, and we feed our CFD for a sequence of analysis. And we could find the best solution. 2 impellers, 1 wide blade, especially designed to operate close to the bottom, and a large high-performance impeller in the upper position. Optimal streamlines distribution inside the tank, even with varied volume. A very small dead volume, a reasonable low power consumption, and also with the streamlines velocity and acceleration, we could guarantee an operation with more than 70% of concentration. This is a real example in a huge tank of 5,800 cubic meters. And this is iron ore tailing. And you can see the results where we have a very better solution. This is the CFD simulation. You see that in the bottom of the tank, we have strong velocities around 0.75 meters per second, which is imperative to guarantee not solid settling in the bottom. Here we have a film showing the streamlines inside the vessel, when it's possible to see that most of the lines have a very strong velocity inside the vessel. This is like a tomography of the velocity vectors, where it's possible to see that we have most of the tank with 0.75 meters per second. In conclusion, we are saving 50% of power consumption. This is energy consumption. We are saving more than 7% of water. We have just only 15% of dead volume, and we have 25% less wearing due to the shear rate is less than the traditional construction. Probably we are 25% less cost in investment when we are comparing with the traditional solution. I'd like to thank the PDAC organizers and the audience for the opportunity to show some developments done in Brazil. And if you have any doubts or inquiry, do not hesitate in contact us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Barreto. Now we're going to have Mr. Bern from Siemens talking about stockyard management.
Welcome to everybody in the audience. My name is Bernd Oertmann, and it's my pleasure to introduce our stockyard management solution, SeaMine MAQ, within the next couple of minutes. The management of large bulk material stockyards covers inventory management, execution and operation, as well as planning and scheduling of stacking, reclaiming and blending jobs. Limited knowledge about current inventory in combination with manual operation of stack and reclaimer machines often leads to poor decision-making and high labor costs. With the SeaMine MAQ solution, Siemens tackles those challenges of stockyard management by introducing autonomous machine operation and providing real-time inventory information based on 3D stockpile models. With many successful operations globally within the last 20 years, Siemens proved its competence in that technology. SeaMine MAQ is a Siemens digitalization solution for the management of bulk material stockyards at steel plants, thermal power plants, mines, raw material terminals, and others. The central part of the Siemens system is a real-time high-resolution 3D image of the stockyard and its stockpiles. This 3D image is gained with a mathematical calculated plus a 3D laser or radar scanned model. It starts with material tracking from any take-in point like ship or train unloading or the mine itself via conveyor routes to the stacker and from there into the stockpile. Our system tracks material quantity data measured by belt scales along the conveyor route and quality data gained through laboratory systems, analyzing systems, or other sources. The Siemens system determines the exact position of the stacker and thus calculates the stockpile as it gets stacked with selectable stacking methods. The same applies for the reclaiming process. The Siemens system determines the exact position of the reclaimer and calculates the stockpile as it gets reclaimed with selectable reclaiming methods. Afterwards, the reclaimer material is tracked further via conveyor routes to any takeout point like ship or train loading, or further processing in steel plants, power plants, or others. Summarized, the Siemens stockpile model provides real-time information about location of raw material within the stockyard, including related quantity and quality data, plus information of other stockyard conditions like empty areas and others. The Siemens stockpile model is a basis for raw material separation and blending operations. It also enables our customers to operate their stockyard machinery fully autonomous under monitoring of collision avoidance systems. The main customer benefits are improvement of equipment and process efficiency by better knowledge of the stockyard process data and thus better machine utilization. Steady and consistent stockyard operation independent of machine operator performance. Reduction of machine wear and abrasion due to gentle operation of machinery in autonomous operation. Finally, increase of the overall person and machine safety. This leads immediately to an increase of quality, productivity, and safety, and to a cost decrease. This slide shows a comparison between our calculated and our scanned stockpile model. As you may see, the mathematical model is more precise and accurate, in particular in hidden areas where a 3D laser scanner is not able to get in. Thus, our stockyard model is mainly based on our calculation plus 3D laser scanning after certain environmental events like rain and storm, which destroys pile shapes. In this aspect, Siemens differentiates from many other suppliers. Our mathematical model is based on the exact position determination of the stockyard machines in regard of all movement, long travel, slewing, and luffing. For the position measurement, we either use existing sensors at the machines or add additional ones to achieve our requirements. In this slide, a typical bucket wheel stacker reclaimer is shown. The same applies certainly for other machine types. To determine the ore grade of non-ferrous raw material, Siemens cooperates with the Canadian company MineSense. This cooperation resulted in an X-ray ore grade measurement of raw material on conveyors prior to stockpiling and before further downstream operations like grinding and beneficiation plants. The results of those measurements are also processed in our stockpile model. In most operations, planning and scheduling must be done still manually. The decision-making process about best possible job execution is often challenging due to the high number of possible scenarios based on resource availability, storage strategies, and volatility of framework conditions. This fact results in non-leveraging the full potential of an autonomous operation by poor planning. To overcome this gap, Siemens has developed its advanced stockyard planning application ASP. The ASP is a scalable planning system to automate and optimize planning and scheduling based on operational objectives using real-time data integration. The web application is fully integratable with any existing legacy system using API technology and standard communication like OPC UA. CMIQ solution makes fully transparent the complete material flow within a stockyard operation. Siemens has a more than 20 years track record of successful stockyard management operation. This success story started in 1998 in Germany and was spread out globally since then. Many customers consider today intelligent stockyard management solutions as one piece of their digitalization strategy. Finally, this slide shows the Siemens Minerals global setup. In Brazil, Siemens Minerals does have two hubs. One is in Sao Paulo for local sales, project management, and engineering, and the other one is in Belo Horizonte for its global and local digitalization business. Thank you very much for getting the chance to introduce our advanced dockyard management solution, SeaMine MAQ. If you have any questions, please give me a call or send me an email, and I will reply as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Bernd. Now we're going to have Priscila Esteves from Steiner talking about the application of sensor-based sorting.
Hi, Rodrigo. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm Priscila. I'm the head of the lab of Steiner Latinoamericana. And today I'm going to present our presentation, application of sensor-based sorting technology at pilot plants in South America. The main reason that why we wanted to present in this panel, it's because it's a new technology that allows for energy consumption reduction and such other points that I think it fits very well in the points. I divided my presentation in technology, application areas, and pilot plant. I tried to approach the initial points of the technology and also to give more information about some case studies. So people that already know the technology can also understand what's happening here in South America and have more numbers and more information on that. The first point is the technology. Steiner is a German company. We have an office here in Belo Horizonte, and all of the South American market is under Steiner Latinoamericana. We divide our technology in magnetic equipment and sensor-based sorting equipment. This is an example of a sensor-based sorting equipment, this yellow machine. And this is in a plant in South America. The technology, it's basically an equipment that it's divided in three parts. We have on the left a vibration feeder that's responsible to create a monolayer of particles. And each of the OR particles pass two sensors. We usually apply induction, a 3D camera, a color camera, and an X-ray transmission for mining. And then those materials are divided. Usually the size fraction are in between 10 to 100 millimeters. So we have coarser particles of ore. And the main question will be why to apply this equipment, why to apply this new technology. And now I will talk about the application areas. It's a dry beneficiation process. As I mentioned, we usually apply the technology for particles above 10 millimeters, so it's coarse particles. It doesn't require any water, only an air pressure. And so it's a dry beneficiation. The importance of dry process has increased significantly since of the tailings dam failure, and there are lots of places that does not have a lot of water, such as in Chile, for example. And the technology also, you can process low-grade stockpile. So stockpile is becoming an issue for most of the old mining companies. Normally, everything that's below the cutoff of the mining, it's just stocked in the stockpiles, and it becomes a very environmental passive. And it can become, instead of an environmental passive, it can become in a source of ore or source of metal. So it's a great possibility that we see and that we apply the technology. And also for pre-concentration. The main idea of the pre-concentration is to provide a coarse gangue rejection. So we are rejecting particles that are above 10 millimeters. And this creates a reduction of the amount of fines sent to the tailings dam. Instead of grinding, milling, and flotating all of the fines, it's eliminated before all of the process. And it's very important today that people want to reduce the amount of fines and also to reuse the tailings dam. So it's very important on this point. It also allows for production increase. So you can increase your feed grade of the beneficiation plant. It's very important for low grade ores. And sometimes we see a lot of projects that has a very low grade material and it's not possible to process it. So it's another opportunity. It also cuts transport, energy, and reagents cost because you are not sending all of your material to your beneficiation plant. You are sending only what has a minimum grade or that can be processed in an economical way. And it also increases process stability and flexibility. So if the scenarios change, if the commodities price change, you have flexibility to change your cutoff or to change the material that you are sending to the beneficiation plant. This covers most of the applications that the technology has. And I will now talk about some of pilot plants that we have in Latin America. And I have the feeling that when we show real case, it's easier to understand some of the context. Okay. The 3 case studies, the first of them, it's a chromite pilot plant. Initially, they have manual hand picking. So they have several people that were literally picking the material over the belt. And now they have automatic machines and all of the workers were capacited to work with this machine. And there they have concentration. So they concentrate everything that's over 35% of chromite. They have pre-concentration and low grade is stockpile treatment. And the capacity is close to 200 tons per hour. So we cannot say that capacity is a limitation for this plant, for example. And there they use laser and XRT. Second application is a gold pre-concentration. And they reuse a node stockpile. So they are being able to turn the stockpile into an economical source of gold and also to reduce the transport costs because they use it to transport all of those waste with a several costs associated. And the last one, it's a copper stockpile treatment. The stockpile, they had it for several years and now they can reuse all of the metal that is in this stockpile and everything that's eliminated is pure waste. So they can sell it as something that has a very low value associated, but they don't need to store it. It's not an environmental passive. And we can see that we have 3 different cases, all of them very different, a chromite plant, a gold plant, and a copper plant. And the technology allows for a lot of sustainable and economical benefits. And I think my time is over. So thank you for your time, for the opportunity. And we are open to any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Priscilla. Well, sirs, we have just seen 4 examples of good developments applied to the mineral processing. Please feel free to make any questions. And now we're going to start our conversation, our little small debate with the 4 speakers. And I would raise a first question that is the following to our speakers. Well, some of the presentations, we could see clearly some concern about the tailings and the tailing dams. Of course, this is a subject that is very well known in Brazil, and we are always discussing how to reduce the tailing dams. Of course, we cannot avoid them, but we must be done it in a reasonable way. Sometimes we can have a dry processing. Sometimes we cannot have a dry processing, it must be a wet processing. And how can we reduce the tailing dams? I would like to ask Mrs. Priscilla to explain again, how can the sensor-based sorting technology, how can this technology works for the mining industry in order to be a more sustainable mining, reducing tailing dams or any other kind of waste disposal. And after Priscilla, if João Barreto could also tell us a little bit, how can Senco, with their technology and differential, how can Senco help the mining industry to avoid or to reduce the use of water, and what's the differential that Senco can have on that? So Priscilla, if you can just give a brief answer about that, I would appreciate it.
Sure. Hi, Rodrigo. The main idea of the sensor-based sorting technology in the mining industry is to process coarser material. So we are usually handling material in between above 10 millimeters. So we have the opportunity to reduce material in a coarser size fraction. When you eliminate material in this size fraction, you can put it in stockpile or just sell it as something to construction or something that you can use. You don't have to put it in a tailings dam. So all of the material that's not possible to be processed in an economical way or that does not contain any grade, you can reduce it before just grinding it and sending. After grinding and flotation or leaching, for example, you need to put it into a tailings dam. So the main idea of the pre-concentration is to eliminate the material before it's very fine. I think it's a little bit about what Senco does. What I understood is that they are working on the elimination on the tailings dam. So I think it's a work that can be done from both of the companies. We are trying to reduce them, and I think Senco is trying to eliminate them, which is also very important, especially now that we have lots of them. I think this covers most of the aspects that we can do about it.
Well,
yes, yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, instead of many people thinks that Brazil is a huge mineral country, but most of the people think that we just produce iron ore. It's not true. In fact, iron ore is the most important mining industry, but we have another kind of industries here in Brazil. And what happens is most of this processes works in hydrometallurgical process. What is important to understand is that most of the companies are trying to decrease the water in the process. Iron ore is studying a lot of process without water in the process. But there is a lot of process in mining industries, like for zinc, for bauxite, for alumina, for any kind of other projects, which is not possible to go ahead without water. And when you have water in the process, you have usually you have tails, and if you have tails, sometimes you have to dispose this tails in a dam, and that's the great problem. What we think that is possible to do is to decrease the water in the process, and in this case, what Senco is going is to find a way to process slurries with the maximum concentration of solids as possible in order to avoid the water. And in this case, we have the treatment after the process in order to decrease the water and to dry the tailing in order to deposit this tailing in a safe condition. I think that what we are trying to do is to go to numbers that it was impossible in the past, and nowadays we have cases in that the customers desire more than 74-75% of solids content in the slurry. And that's, I think, that it's be the goal for the process in the future.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. Mr. Bern, one question. Your solution is for stockyard management. It's an advanced solution for that. And can you give us some kind of explanation or why customer attention for that kind of a solution is higher than in, let's say, 5 or 10 years ago. Why is stockyard management is so important now compared with the past?
Yes, thank you, Rodrigo, for that question. Yeah, as presented, basically, stockyard management is not brand new, but let's see, 10 or 20 years ago, the focus of stockyard management was more in the area of fully automatic or autonomous operation of the machine. However, this has changed. This requirement still exists. So our customers would want to run their machines fully automatic, but due to the digitalization process the industry is facing right now, they require very precise data of their stockyard operation, very precise data of what's in their stockyard to optimize, on the one hand, their machine utilization, but on the other hand, to be also able to blend their material much more precise as they could years before. So basically, this is very, very positive, for example, for steel making process. So if you are able to blend iron ore and other additives very, very precise, this had certain advantages for the steel making process, and then a very accurate 3D model of the stockyard provides a basis for very accurate blending of material afterwards. So I see this, and as I said, it's part of the digitalization journey the companies are underway at the moment. I hope this answers your question, Rodrigo.
Sure. Right, understood very well. Well, one question for Haber, Mr. Thiago. Those technology that you presented, can it be applied on any equipment or just in Haber-Bosch equipment? I mean, if the mining company has other vibrating equipment, can they use your solution, or do they need any kind of if it's possible, of course, and if they need any kind of adaptation to use it?
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. Well, the answer is yes, definitely. Like I have already mentioned during the presentation, Haber-Bosch Niagara is specialized in vibrating equipment, and over the past 20 years, we have gathered a lot of experience working with vibrating screens from different providers, and I think we combined that experience to develop one solution that can be used for all kinds of vibrating screens. So the answer is definitely yes. And there's no need for adaptation.
Okay, good. Well, I have a general question now. And of course, if you want to answer the questions that were already done, please feel free to do that. But I would ask, what's the differential that your company has compared to others competitors in your business? So what's the differential that Steinert has, Senco has, Siemens, and Haber? What do you have that others don't have? And a second question is, how can you contribute to the Brazilian industry, and mainly regarding the environment? Of course, Priscilla and John have gave us some kind of information about that, but in a general view, of course, you probably have more than that for the environmental issue. How can you contribute to that? So, Thiago, if you can start that, please, I would appreciate it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I would say that our main differential is the fact that we are a company specializing in vibrating screens. So our whole world is built around the vibrating screens. So we can develop a lot of solutions that are required by the market with a very good time frame. And that's a very good point also to your second questions, because since some events that happen in Brazil, we've been asked to develop more solutions that would demand the less usage of water in the processes. And I believe we have good solutions that can classify materials with less water on it. And I believe that that's the differential of Haber and Boca Niagara, the fact that we are a specialized company that can attend the market in a very good time frame.
Good. Priscilla, want to tell something?
I think the main thing that's different about Scinet in relation to the technology and to the sensor-based sorting technology is that we are able to combine different sensors. We are the only company that can combine up to 4 different sensors. This brings a lot of flexibility, and we can treat more complex materials. So we have plants treating very complex ores because we are able to combine sensors that can differentiate into different aspects in relation to the mineralogy. And in relation to Scinet as a company, we have a very strong local support. So we have more than 20 machines in Latin America. We have all of the services here in Latin America, all of the spare parts for the sensor-based technology. And we are the only company that provide this kind of equipment and have a test center here in Brazil. So I'm responsible for the test center that was established in 2019. And we are the only company that you can test your material here in Brazil or in Latin America. So I think this brings us a lot of understanding about the market and also the technical aspects of treating ores in the sensor-based technology, and a very strong local support, I would say, would be our most strong thing here.
All right, thank you. Mr. Baron?
And a very important differentiator of our stockyard management solution to other companies who provide similar solutions is the determination of the 3D stockpile model. Basically, for all stockyard management systems, this stockyard model needs to be very precise. And as I try to explain, we use a mathematical model based on position determination of the machines, and we have a number of formulas, and do not base our 3D model purely on laser scanning, because laser scanning has certain disadvantages because there are always hidden areas. So laser scanner does not detect the full stockyard. So the mathematical model provides clearly advantages in that regard. The second question, environmental. Yes, this is interesting. It's basically, for us, it's indirect. For example, in China, we have currently 2 projects running in China, and by law in China, each stockyard has to be covered, at least the new ones. So, but if a stockyard is covered, the stockyard is covered because they don't allow the dust pollution to get out of the stockyard. But if it's covered, you have the pollution inside of the stockyard, and it's very hard for people to work there. So basically, the machines have to run autonomously. Only if the machines run autonomously, the operations are allowed to operate. So this has basically an indirect aspect into the environmental discussion.
Very good, very good. Barreto?
Well, I do not have any doubt and say that the big difference between the Senco and the other companies is our R&D department focused directly in the process of our customers. We are not looking for creating just new products, but how to use our products the best way with our customers, and how to go to the best way in the process. This is the big difference. This is our differential advantage. In terms of environmental, it is not difficult to say that it's impossible to have mine industries without produce wastes. Tails and wastes are part of the mine industries. And what we have to do is to produce a small quantity of wastes as possible. And in this case, in the process, we are contributing using less water than it's possible. And what we are doing also is working hard in the waste treatment. We have a great experience working in waste treatment here in Brazil, working with the most important engineering companies directly specialized in this matter. So we have the great advantage to go in this way, to have a small quantity of waste in the future. That is the best contribution. Okay.
All right, thank you. Well, another general question for all of you. How do you see the Brazilian mining from now on? We had in the past difficult moments for the mining industry. Now we are facing a good moment. How do you see that your companies can help, and other players in ABIMAQ can help with the progress of the mining industry in Brazil?
Can I start?
Sure.
I think there is apart from the economical or the exploration scenario, I think there is a crescent need for the mining industry, not only in Brazil, but globally, to be more sustainable and to work with lower grades. And I think the technology plays a key role in allowing the mining industry to go ahead with those challenges. So I think the sensor-based sorting technology, the technologies that allows for a more efficient process or a better control of the process or understanding the variability and heterogeneity, all of those aspects are very important. And in the mining industry here in Brazil, as we have the test center, we receive a lot of requests to test greenfields and brownfield projects. So this gives us a good understanding about what is coming in the economical perspective. And we see that sometimes we receive a material, the technology is not very suitable for that, but most of the customers just come back, oh, I have another project that was kept for 10 years and maybe it's suitable. If this works, maybe this will become more economical, or other elements like cobalt or rare earth elements. I think most of the people that have old projects that, oh, it's not possible to do this, it's not economical, we don't have a process route for that. People are trying to understand the new technologies and what it can be done for those processes to be processed, those materials to be processed in an economical way. So I think we will see a lot of changes in relation to the technology used in the mining industry. I hope so, at least.
Okay. Others want to make an answer about that? Please, very short, because we are running out of time. How do you see Brazilian mining, and how do you think it's gonna happen in the future with your or others' technologies?
If I can answer that question, yes, we see Siemens sees a lot of opportunities in the mining market, and Siemens is basically global company not only for digitalization solutions but also for electrification and a lot of others. So we can contribute with the complete supply range of Siemens into the mining industry, and besides that, Siemens as a company is a big employee in Brazil anyway. So we have offices which serves the mining market, but we have also factories in Brazil. So with the capabilities Siemens has in Brazil, I think we have good possibilities to address the the Brazilian mining requirements.
Good.
Well, I will be very, very short because I know we are running out of time. So I hope this scenario continues. Of course, it's very difficult to predict anything right now. And in regards to what can we provide, I believe sustainability is the word. And I believe that Haber and Booker can provide their customers with technological products. Mainly in my area, our condition monitoring tool is very focused on reducing the consumption of spare parts, increase efficiency, and keeping people away from aggressive environments. So I believe that these are the aspects that we can help achieve the demanded goals regarding to sustainability.
Good.
Well, I can say that everything was said here, but I'm hope that we have best years in the future for the mine industries in Brazil. Instead of the problem of the pandemic situation that we are living now, we are having many inquiries for the companies looking for new projects, for new technologies, and everything is running. I think that it's possible to have in the future a new perspective for the mine industry in Brazil, looking for environmental, for a new global position for the mine industry in Brazil. Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Well, I think we are close to the end of the session. So to finish, I would like to thank all the audience for the interest and attention. I would like to thank Thiago, Bernd, Priscila, and Barreto. And also I would like to thank the PDAC organizers for the opportunity. I'd like to make a special thank you to Mr. Roberto Xavier from ADIMB, our partner, and also to Carolina Albernaz from the Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce. And I think we are getting to the end of the session. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please, you can also still send on the chat or send some email to us. Thank you very much. Hope to see you soon. That's it. Thank you, Serge.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Thank you, Priscila. Thank you, Thiago, João, for your participation today. Roberto, do you want to do the closing? Say a couple words, or?
Well, you took me by surprise here, as usual.
I can do it, no worries then. I'd like to thank you too for helping us today and being the chairman of the session. And thank you, ADIMB, as well, for connecting us with ABIMAQ. This is very interesting. And I agree with you when you say that innovation and sustainability are in the future is like part of this new contemporary mining, this whole intelligent mining that we've been hearing about for the last 4 days. So thank you again. Congratulations on the technologies that you're offering. And for our audience that is watching us here today, if you do want to learn more about the technologies that they showed up today, and please let us know, or please let ADIMB know, and we'll connect you with the companies and with ABIMAQ. So thank you very much for being here today. Before I go, I would like to share also, since we're talking about innovation, share a video of a Canadian startup with 2 Brazilian founders, actually, that are using AI-based technology to predict accidents in the mining sector. So it's just a very quick video, ladies and gentlemen. Please meet, as appropriate could be. This is Angel.
Hi everyone, my name is Tarcísio Cada. I am a health and safety engineer. I work with Alexandre Erzomura here in Canada, making audit with cameras. Can you guess how massive are the losses caused by accidents in each place, industry, or even country? And how they impact in productivity? Losses numbers due to accidents in workplace have been steady in the last 15 years. Thus, we have a huge opportunity in the health and safety segment. We can change this reality, making automated audits with expert level. That's impossible to health and safety professionals to be everywhere at all time, but cameras can, whether inside their factory or far from their eyes. Automated audits can give to them the power to predict accidents patterns hours, days, and months before it happens. For example, machines can identify 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, good behaviors, safe positions, and time risk exposure by each team, each activity, giving to health and safety professionals this real-time data. They can prevent accidents in a way that has never done before. Thank you for your attention. See you soon.
So this was Angel, very interesting new technology from this great Canadian startup that is just in the process of processing their MVP. So if you wanted to learn more about the benefits of becoming a member of the BCCC, please reach out to me. And don't forget to follow us on social media to be informed of everything that we've been doing. Stay safe, stay home, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.